Ever get that feeling of being completely stuck on a big project? Well, today we're going to look at a really powerful AI-driven way to get things moving again. It's a whole new approach to creating stuff, and the secret? Well, it's about thinking less like a manager and more like an author.
We've all been there, right? You've got this huge idea. Maybe it's a business plan, a YouTube series, a new course, and you just have no idea where to start. It feels like this giant mountain of disconnected thoughts, and you're just staring at it, completely frozen.
But the solution is actually surprisingly simple, and it's incredibly powerful. The secret is to stop thinking like a project manager who's just juggling a million different tasks. Instead, you need to start thinking like an author writing a book.
And that brings us to what we're calling the AI authoring mindset. The core idea is super straightforward. Any great project you build, especially when you're using AI, needs the exact same clear structure and strong content as a really well-written book.
This really paints the perfect picture of the difference. On one side, you have that typical project chaos, random notes, no clear goal. But on the other side, the book-style approach gives you clear chapters, a logical A to Z structure, and a step-by-step flow. It's really the difference between a messy desk and a perfectly organized library.
So, where do you start? Well, just like any book, you need a title. You need that one single unifying idea that's going to hold everything together. This is your project's big picture.
And let's be super clear about this. The big picture isn't just some vague mission statement or a list of features. It has to be the single main topic. It's the one sentence you'd use to pitch your whole project to someone if you only had 30 seconds.
Let's look at a real-world example, because that always helps. The person who came up with this method needed to renew their survival swimming license. So the project's big picture wasn't just swimming. That's too broad. It was a specific, actionable goal. Create a system to review all the essential skills I need for my license renewal. See? That personal motivation makes the whole project crystal clear from the get-go.
Okay, so once you got your book title, your big picture, the next logical step is to create your table of contents. And these are the chapters that are going to break down that massive project into smaller, manageable, logical pieces.
The process itself is just beautifully simple. You start with your big picture, right? Like survival swimming review. Then you break that down into your logical chapters, and finally, you use those chapters as a framework to flesh out all the details. It just works.
For the survival swimming project, the chapters become obvious. You'd start with an introduction, then move on to water safety principles, floating techniques, how to use life jackets, and so on. Each one of these is a focused little module, a chapter, that makes the entire project feel so much more manageable instead of just overwhelming.
And this is where your AI co-author really shines. You can feed it your big picture and use a prompt like, hey, based on this goal, can you outline a 7-chapter structure for a comprehensive guide? And from there, you can ask it to generate examples, write explanations, and polish the content for every single section. It helps you build the skeleton and then put all the meat on the bones.
Now, just having great chapters isn't quite enough. A good book doesn't just have a bunch of random chapters, right? They're ordered in a way that tells a story and builds up your knowledge. And that's the next crucial step, creating a learning route.
You have to remember, you're not just creating these isolated pieces of information, you're building a pathway for your audience. This learning route makes sure that someone can start right at the beginning and logically move through your content until they understand the entire system you've built for them.
Think of it like a YouTube series. You wouldn't want someone to watch the advanced techniques video before they've even seen the introduction, right? That would be chaos. This structure, moving from A to D, it guides the viewer and makes the whole learning process feel effective and totally intuitive, because each piece just builds on the last one.
And what's cool is this framework is incredibly versatile. You can apply it to completely different topics, everything from teaching the physical skills of surfing to explaining the core patterns of English sentences. The method just works because the principles of clear structure and logical progression, well, they're universal.
So when you put all of these pieces together, a clear, big picture, these structured chapters, and a connected learning route, you end up with something really powerful. You get a finished, polished project that feels complete and authoritative. Your published work, so to speak. This right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. Don't use AI to just spit out random bits of information. Use it as a tool to architect the project with the same care and clarity you'd find in a great book. It all comes down to two things: strong content and a clear structure.
So that leaves us with one final thought. The next time you're facing a daunting project, don't see it as a pile of tasks. See it as an unwritten book.
Ask yourself, what's the title? What are the chapters? And what story do I want to tell? So, what book are you going to write with AI?